This incident occurred when I was 16 years old, during a period of significant personal growth and transition. As a boy entering puberty, I experienced many physical and psychological changes. Many of my emotional ups and downs, as well as my impulsivity, stemmed from these oscillations, which left me emotionally unstable. During this period, my father and I had numerous disputes about trivial matters, and our relationship worsened. I attempted to break free from my reliance on him and pursue autonomy. Minor matters usually sparked our disputes. I had no idea what to do with myself or my family, and all of the family interactions bored and bewildered me. I assumed no one understood my inner turmoil and concerns, and there were times when I felt rejected and alone. Simultaneously, I became concerned about what lied ahead. I questioned whether I'd ever find my true calling. My father and I had a heated argument about my schooling once. During that time in high school, I had important tests and decisions coming up. I was anxious and needed to focus on my academics, but my father's high demands irritated me. I lost it emotionally and couldn't bear the stress on my family during the argument. To relieve stress, I packed my belongings and went to visit with a friend for a few days. The sweltering summer weather had lasted nearly 2 months. People were hoping for rain. On September 30th, an astronomical phenomena took place. My friends and I were playing basketball at the time. We returned to this place as soon as we saw it was going to rain. We could hear rain pelting the pane outside the window. We were eagerly expecting the much-anticipated rain and couldn't wait to get outside. As we were playing in the rain, a bolt of lightning struck both me and a neighboring tree. In an instant, my body gave out and I dropped on the floor. It was impossible for me to respond since it happened so quickly. I don't remember feeling anything when the bolt of lightning struck me. I felt no discomfort as it passed through my body. I could feel the surrounding noises fade away. My mental lucidity was disappearing as I lay on the ground. I had no idea if I was going to make it. When I awoke, I found myself in an unusual area. It looked like a movie theater with a wall-mounted screen. To my surprise, every one of the clips portrayed incidents from my prior life. One image struck me deeply since it brought back so many memories from my youth. My neighbor's child had lately gotten a bicycle and was loving riding it around the block. In that mental image, I was envious and wanted to sneak up on the little guy and embarrass him in front of everyone. Back then, I gave him a solid shove. When I initially saw this photo, I didn't realize how much suffering it was inflicting him. In this occasion, my own actions surprised me. It occurred to me how much harm this seemingly small joke had caused him. I was acutely aware that my acts had been thoughtless, and I was overcome with shame and regret. The picture made me realize that causing suffering for others damages not only them but also my own heart. There was no one pronouncing judgment or assigning blame to me in this observation chamber. I was abruptly overcome by a tremendous energy field. Even though I couldn't see his likeness with my own eyes, I assumed he was Jesus. His warmth and caring were evident, and I felt his presence. When I was in his presence, I felt as if I had mastered the universe. All of my questions had meaningful solutions. Everything became crystal clear and significant, and I no longer felt lost or confused. There was no need for words to describe what was being communicated because the technique of communication was so powerful. I felt as if Jesus and I were one. He knew my deepest insecurities and troubles. I couldn't hide anything from him. Jesus' main message to me was that love is the key to everything. Love is the primary force that propels and unites everything in this universe. He instilled in me a deep regard for love, as well as a knowledge of its meaning and power. Additionally, Jesus assured me that there is no such thing as time here. Time, he explained, is nothing more than a concept, a tool created by people to serve as a reminder of when we should do certain things. Everything happens in the now, and the past and future merge, and I felt as if I had escaped the confines of time in this location. This may sound unusual or perplexing, but I assure you that it all makes perfect sense once these notions are put into perspective. Even from this vantage point, I could see what was happening on Earth. One day, I saw a vision of myself in a hospital bed. Everything around me became crystal clear. My senses sharpened to a pinpoint, and I was able to focus solely on what was right in front of me. I was no longer in pain. Instead, I felt a tremendous sense of calm. I overheard my father's conversation with the doctor. The doctor informed my father that I had been unconscious for 30 minutes and that if I awoke right now, I would most likely have suffered severe brain damage. I had the sense that the doctor was unprofessional and unaware of my current condition. It was honestly the nicest sensation I've ever had. My spirit, I realized, was unique from my physical appearance. At that moment, I became an objective bystander. Free of the limits of my physical shape, my focus was elsewhere, so I paid little attention to what was happening in the hospital. However, I no longer felt constrained by space or time. Words fail me when I try to describe the depth of this emotion. It changed my perspective on life and the cosmos. Jesus pushed me to choose between remaining here and returning to earth at this time. This difficult decision filled me with internal strife and misery. I felt boundless peace and kindness here. An air of divine love enveloped me, and the beauty was magnificent. On the other side, I saw my mother in the hospital sobbing. Her inner pain was evident to me. I was aware that remaining here meant she would never see me again, which would give her great distress. The difficult and excruciating decision had to be mine in the end. I opted to return to earth and be with my loved ones. Following my decision, Jesus placed his blessing on me. It felt as if an unseen hand was leading me. I felt as if my spirit was escaping this place. The entire region was illuminated by a startling flash of light at that moment. My spirit was reunited with my corporeal body. I gradually became aware of my physical body, including my temperature and the sounds around me. I felt my awareness return to my bodily form. I could feel my heartbeat, the rhythm of my breaths, and the flow of blood throughout my body. I gradually opened my eyes and saw the ambulance bay's stark white walls. I knew it was a rebirth the moment I returned to my bodily form. With thankfulness, I placed my palm on my chest and felt my heartbeat. When my mother saw me wake up, her expression changed to one of surprise. In an instant, Mom ran over to give me a bear hug and said, "Son, you are finally awake." My heart was touched by her affectionate embrace. I felt positive that I had made the perfect decision. My mother refused to believe it was true when I informed her about the experience. I can see her reaction originated from her misunderstanding regarding the nature of the supernatural. Nonetheless, I did not have a dream or a hallucination. Rather, it was a powerful and authentic experience. The term near-death experience was not yet widely used, and few people were willing to talk about their experiences publicly. Because of the strong stigma surrounding paranormal encounters, I chose to remain silent and bury the experience deep within me. I knew society wouldn't understand or accept my experience. I had gradually come to terms with this event. When it comes to paranormal experiences, I understand that everyone has various ideas and perceptions. Even after 41 years, I am confident that the event occurred and had a profound impact on my life. It acts as a constant reminder to me of the importance of love and tolerance, even though I avoid addressing it in public. I began reading reports of near-death experiences online as news spread about these events via the internet. There seems to be an increasing number of others online who were experiencing the same things I was. By discussing their own near-death experiences, I was able to connect with a supportive community of people. I was no longer completely alone. The term near-death experience, NDE, became widely used and a popular subject of study over time. The subject was the focus of a growing number of publications and documentaries. It has progressed from a disregarded topic to one that attracts a great deal of attention nowadays. It makes me pleased because it demonstrates how more and more individuals are coming to terms with this phenomenon. Do you believe that God really exists? Is a question that may arise. In my perspective, the answer is yes. When confronted with difficulty, people struggle to access their inner supplies of strength and comfort. The Bible was discovered in my home one day. The contents were too confusing for me to read thoroughly. I happened upon a page on God's wisdom and flipped to it. As I read and reflected on it, I realized how profound its relevance was. I discovered that God's wisdom can supply me with direction and advice no matter how hard the problems we face are. His comprehensive insight will provide us with the confidence to face any difficulty. A sensation of God's care and concern came over me, and I felt at ease with myself. Following this, I began turning to the Bible for answers and guidance. I discovered that my decisions and actions affect not just me, but also everyone around me. My personality has grown to be more compassionate and patient. In difficult circumstances, I have learned to pray for His help and trust Him to solve my difficulties. His plan is excellent, and I believe in it.